Have you ever been out there in the dating world and just felt like you're missing something? Like, what if the right person is literally right in front of you, but you just can't see them? Well, if that sounds familiar, you are in the right place. Today, we're going to dive into a concept that might just change the way you look at relationships forever. So let's just cut straight to the chase with a big question. Is your kingdom spouse, that person truly meant for you, waiting right now? And even more important, are you overlooking them without even having a clue? This whole explainer is about learning to see the signs you might have been missing. All right, so where does this blind spot even come from? Well, a lot of the time, it's our own search criteria. We've all got these mental checklists, but what if those lists, what if those modern dating tools are the very things that are actually failing us? I mean, think about it for a second. We show up to the dating scene with these super detailed lists. They have to be this tall, have this job, laugh at my jokes. Or maybe without even realizing it, we're looking for someone to fix the hurts from a past relationship. And then, of course, there's that huge pressure from everyone else to find someone who just looks good on paper or, on your Instagram feed. All that stuff creates this filter, and it can totally block our view of what really, truly matters. This right here, this is the fundamental shift in perspective. The normal question we all ask is, who makes me happy? It's all about what I can get. But the kingdom question, that's a whole different ballgame. It asks, who helps me fulfill God's purpose? See how that reframes everything? The goal isn't just self-satisfaction anymore. It's about a shared mission. And that shift leads us to a completely new idea of what a partner is supposed to be. We've got to move our thinking from finding some kind of trophy we can show off to finding a real teammate for this journey we call life. And that teammate, that's what the source material we're looking at calls a kingdom spouse. So let's get really clear on what this means. This isn't just about finding your soulmate who makes you laugh and gives you butterflies. No, it's about finding a partner for a divine assignment, someone who is actively helping you step into who you were made to be and achieve your life's purpose. It's so much bigger than just happiness. Okay, so if this is the kind of partner we should be looking for, what are the signs? How do we spot them? The key really is to stop getting distracted by the packaging, the looks, the job title, the immediate spark, and to start looking for the substance underneath it all. All right, so here are 4 huge signs that we tend to miss all the time. The sharpening effect, something called spiritual resonance, the helper blueprint, and my personal favorite, fruit over flash. Let's break down what each of these actually looks like in real life. First up, the sharpening effects. Now, most of us try to avoid people who challenge us, right? It feels like conflict. But what if that friction is actually a sign of growth? A kingdom spouse is like iron sharpening iron. They're going to push you, they're going to challenge you to be better, even when it feels a little uncomfortable. They're helping you become the best version of yourself. Second, spiritual resonance. Okay, we've all been programmed by Hollywood to wait for that dramatic lightning bolt moment of crazy romance. But the real sign? It's often so much quieter. It's this deep, consistent sense of peace when you're with them. It's that feeling that your spirits are just in sync on the big stuff, the things of God, even if you have totally different personality. Third is the helper blueprint. And this one is so powerful and often misunderstood. In the Bible, Eve is called an ozer kenegdo for Adam. Now, that's often translated as helpmeet, but a much better translation is a strength that corresponds to him. This is not about being a lesser assistant. It's a position of power and strength. A kingdom spouse brings a strength that complements your own calling, and that is way more important than anything on your physical checklist. And finally, number 4, fruit over flash. It is so easy to get wowed by charisma, by charm, by someone who's just flashy. But true quality, the quality of a kingdom spouse, that's revealed in their character, what the Bible calls the fruit of the Spirit. Things like patience, kindness, faithfulness. And you don't see that in big, grand gestures. You see it in how they handle the small, boring, everyday parts of life. Okay, so if these signs are actually there, why on earth do we miss them so often? Well, it's because we're looking at people through these invisible filters. And these filters can completely blind us to the amazing person that might be standing right in front of us. Let's break down these 4 filters that just wreck our vision. First, past trauma. If you're used to drama and chaos, a healthy, peaceful connection can actually feel, boring. Second, those financial lists. If you're only looking for someone who's already made it, you're going to completely miss the builder who has all the potential in the world but just hasn't arrived yet. Third, physical idealism. If you are fixated on one specific type, you could be totally blind to a deeply compatible soul who just doesn't fit that narrow box. And finally, simple box checking. You might dismiss someone with incredible spiritual maturity just because they don't have a certain degree or share your exact same hobby. So the big question is, how do we fix this? How do we take off these filters so we can actually see clearly? Well, it takes some intentional work. It's like we need to go in and change our search settings from worldly to spiritual. Let's walk through a practical guide on how to do just that. Here are 4 steps you can take. First, seek the kingdom first. Get busy with your own purpose, and you're going to naturally run into other people who are running in the same direction. Step 2, you have to actually ask for spiritual sight. Pray to see people's hearts, not just their resumes. Third, seriously evaluate that peace factor. If you feel a supernatural calm and safety with someone, pay attention to that. And fourth, look for alignment, not just agreement. And that last point is so crucial. Listen, you don't need to find a clone of yourself who agrees with you on every little thing, from movies to politics. That's not the goal. What you need is someone whose life direction, whose core mission, is pointed toward the same ultimate destination as yours. That deep alignment, that's where the real magic of a partnership is. This quote just sums it all up perfectly. A kingdom spouse isn't a perfect person, but the prepared person for your specific journey. We have to let go of this idea of perfection. It doesn't exist. The goal is to find the person who is uniquely equipped and prepared for the specific path that you are on. So, that brings us right back to where we started, but hopefully now with a completely new perspective. After rethinking the signs, after identifying your own filters, the real question you have to ask yourself is, who have you been overlooking?